Coming to you from Annapolis, Maryland, home of the U.S. Naval Academy, the sailing capital of the world, home of the world's largest crab feast, and 4 signers of the Declaration of Independence. This is the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief, a daily roundup of local news that you can use, including local sports, local events, local opinion, and local weather from DMV Weather. Now here's your host, publisher of Eye on Annapolis, John Frenaye.
Good morning. It's Friday, August 17th, 2018. This is John Frenaye, and this is your Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. The Anne Arundel County Police are investigating 2 murders that happened earlier this week, both on Wednesday. The first one was in the 1800 block of Hawk Court in Severn, and a man called police after he found his 29-year-old daughter, Jasmine Sherelle Adams, dead in the basement of her residence. Homicide detectives did respond. They believe that the victim suffered trauma to her upper body and was declared a homicide. An autopsy is scheduled to determine the exact cause of death. Police do not believe this was a random act of violence, and they do believe it was targeted. However, they are asking anybody with any information to call detectives at 410-222-4731. A little bit later on Wednesday, up in Glen Burnie in the 200 block of East Thompson Avenue, officers responded to an initial call of a sick or injured subject. When they arrived, they found 58-year-old Stephen Boyd Peel deceased on the floor of the kitchen. The only other resident of the house was his 26-year-old nephew, Devin Leontis Peel, and investigators learned that the two got into a verbal altercation that escalated into a violent assault, and during the assault, the 26-year-old Peel punched the older Peel several times, causing him to lose consciousness. An autopsy is also scheduled in that. Peel was arrested and charged with first-degree murder and related charges, and even though an arrest has been made, Anne Arundel County Police are urging anyone with any more information to come forward by calling the homicide unit at 410-222-4731. The Chesapeake Bay, the Annapolis Harbor, our creeks, we can probably prepare ourselves for another deluge of crap coming down the Susquehanna River. The Conowingo Dam was opened again yesterday. Exelon said they expected to open 10 to 13 of the 52 gates, which is about half as many as they did the last time around. So as the stuff flows down the bay, it probably shouldn't be as bad, but we should probably expect our waters to get a little bit dirtier in the next week or so. The parents of Jordan McNair, the University of Maryland football player who died earlier this year, are calling on the University of Maryland to fire head coach DJ Durkin. And Marty said there was no doubt there was a toxic culture in the program. He said, quote, "The toxic culture is what led them to push Jordan beyond what his body could tolerate. It pushed them to look at him as being exhausted and out of shape and to curse at him as if he was literal failing. That's toxic." Commenting on Durkin, he said, "Durkin shouldn't be able to work with anybody else's kid. You send your kid away to college for them to be developed into young people, and that's physically, emotionally, spiritually. I'm giving my child to you. Keep him safe." And they did anything but that. This does come on the heels of University of Maryland President Wallace Lowe apologizing to the parents, saying that the school would take all moral and legal responsibility for the death of their son. Remember last month when Historic Annapolis held a press conference saying that the city dock was put on an endangered list? Well, there's a new plan for a reimagined city dock, and I'm not sure how they're going to take this, but you can check out eyeonannapolis.net. We do have a post about it. In general, the hotel stays, but Main Street, if you can vision this, gets extended down into the city dock, so actually you're looking directly out onto the bay from Main Street. And Newman Street, which is the little street that runs between the Fleet Reserve and Fawcett's, will be extended across Ego Alley into what is now the parking lot, creating a small pond between that street and the end of Ego Alley, which will be shortened a little bit when Main Street rolls through there. It does allow for about a 36,000 square foot of ground level of development, an expansion of the market house, some pedestrian walkways, and my favorite, a Ferris wheel. Yes, there is a Ferris wheel on there, but take a look at the plan. Let me know what you think. The mayor has seen it. I've been told that he is intrigued by it. He likes the idea. The question is, will Ward 1, will Historic Annapolis, will the residents of Annapolis, will the council? Stay tuned. We will see on that one. And of course, we've all heard about the death of Aretha Franklin yesterday. The Queen of Soul died at age 76. What a great loss for the music industry. She is a winner of 18 Grammy Awards, and I didn't realize this, but she was the first female artist inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1987, well beyond the time that she should have done. We really lost a good one this time with Aretha Franklin. That is about it for the top news today. Please make sure you're checking out eyeonannapolis.net throughout the day because we do update it throughout the day. It is Friday, so of course at the end of this podcast we do have our picks for the things to do this week, one of which of course is Kegs and Corks. Don't forget to use the code EOA to save yourself $10 on the ticket. The weather looks good. Speaking of weather, we have George Young with DMV Weather. He's coming right up after this message from Kegs and Corks.
Don't miss the best event of the summer. Come out Saturday, August 18th for the Kegs and Corks Festival at the Anne Arundel County Fairgrounds. Get tickets now at kegsandcorksfest.com to begin the party at noon instead of 1 with early access tickets. Tickets benefit the Special Olympics of Maryland and include a souvenir glass, unlimited wine and beer samples, plus live music all day, including headliner Kristen and the Noise. Enjoy over 80 Maryland wines, 40 craft beers, incredible food, and more. Go now to kegsandcorksfest.com.
This is Maryland. The weather can be nearly unpredictable. We've got George Young from DMV Weather in Annapolis to sort it all out.
Hey everyone, this is George with DMV Weather, and this is your Eye on Annapolis forecast for Friday, August 17th. One more day of 90s and humidity today with the threat of PM storms. Then temps gradually cool over the weekend back down into the mid to upper 80s on Saturday and low to mid 80s on Sunday after a cold front moves through the Annapolis area. Watch for a few PM storms both Saturday and Sunday, but overall, the potential for rain is fairly low. Also watch for some breezy winds if out and about on the bay or other local waterways, as the air is likely to be moving a bit following the front. But all in all, likely a nice weekend ahead, so get out and enjoy as Labor Day and the start of another school year are right around the corner. Okay, that's it for today. Be sure to download our free weather app by searching the Apple App Store or Google Play Store for DC MDVA Weather. Also be sure to follow us on our website at dmvweather.com or on Facebook or Twitter so you can always stay weather informed. This is George Young of DMV Weather. Make it a great weekend out there. But remember, whatever the weather outside, have fun and be safe.
Suicide is the 10th leading cause of death in the United States, but there is something we can do about it. Each year, thousands of people participate in the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention's Out of the Darkness Walks. These community events raise awareness for suicide prevention and mental health, letting people know they are not alone. Join us Saturday, September 22nd at the Navy Marine Corps Stadium in Annapolis as we walk to fight suicide. It's the 10th annual Annapolis Out of the Darkness Walk. Registration starts at 10 a.m. This is a family and dog-friendly event. Browse resources provided by local health services and learn how you can become a lifesaver. Funds raised by the Midshore Out of the Darkness Walk support research, education, advocacy, and support for those affected by suicide. Remember, suicide prevention starts with everyday heroes like you. Register today at afsp.org/Annapolis. Together, we can help stop suicide. You are not alone.
Need to make plans for the weekend? We got you covered. Here are our top picks. Be sure to visit eyeonannapolis.net to sign up for the events newsletter with a listing of all the upcoming area events.
Thank God it's
Yes, indeed, it is the weekend, and there is an awful lot to do. Top of the list, Kegs and Corks gets underway at 1 p.m. tomorrow, goes till 7. If you've purchased an advance ticket, you can get in an hour early. You can do that at kegsandcorks.com. Use the code EOA until midnight tonight, and you can save $10 off of that general admission ticket. Now, Kegs and Corks has about 40 different craft beers, close to 100 different wines out of 30 different Maryland wineries. Kristen and the Noise will be playing all day. Plenty of vendors, plenty of wine-related vendors, which is really very cool. And the weather does look beautiful. If you'd like to bring a tent, you can do that. You can bring your own little 10 by 10 pop-up tent and put it up on the perimeter, though, so as not to block everybody's view. But have a good time. $40 will get you in the door with unlimited samples of beer and wine all day at the Kegs and Corks Fest. Also tomorrow at the Bryce House, it's another one of their hard hat tours. This one goes from 10:30 till noon. It costs $18, and the Bryce House on East Street is under a major renovation. And what they're doing is they're sort of peeling back the curtain and letting you see what goes on behind the scenes as they renovate and they restore the historic Bryce House. You'll see how they lived back then, how they're using it now, and what they do to actually restore an historic property like that. Really very cool by Historic Annapolis. You can pick up tickets at Annapolis.org. Tomorrow night at Quiet Waters Park, Guava Jelly, and it's sort of a reggae kids band, is playing in a free concert from 5:30 to 7:30. They will have food trucks there as well. The concert and admission to the park is free, great for the kids. Bring a blanket, bring a chair, and jam on down at Quiet Waters Park. Moving into Sunday, be aware that the Annapolis 10 is happening in the morning, so some roads may be closed periodically and you'll see some people running around, but that should all be wrapped up by about 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning. If you want to go south a little bit, head on down to Shadyside to the Captain Avery Museum. That's on East-West Shadyside Road, which is very confusing. Is it east or is it west? But it is on the shady side of the road in Shadyside, and they're having a Kids and Bees program. This is sort of fascinating to me because I never realized how special and important bees and honeybees are to our environment. That goes from 10 to 4 p.m. There will be fixins for ice cream, sundaes, and everything else there. You can find out more information at the Captain Avery Museum website. Not quite South County, but mid-South County, also on Sunday. It is the annual SPCA of Anne Arundel County Puppy Plunge. This is the 7th time they've done it. It happens at Camp Letts from noon to 3 p.m. It is a fundraiser for the SPCA, and it is an incredible favorite. They're going to have live music, food trucks, vendors, a dog bikini contest, a dog pie eating contest, and of course, the Puppy Plunge. They do have 2 beaches, one for little pups and one for bigger pups. They do have handlers out there to make sure that they don't get out of control or in trouble. And this year, they're going to have a bunch of volunteers willing to give your dog a bath after they get all sandy and wet and gross in the Road River for a donation to the SPCA. Tickets are $10 for adults. Children under 12 are free. And the dogs, they are free too. You can find out more information on that at AACSPCA.org. And Camp Letts, for those that don't know, is located down on Central Avenue in Edgewater. That is about it for the things to do this weekend. Those are our top picks. Whatever you do, do it safely, have fun, and we will see you on Monday.
Thanks for listening to the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. If you like what you heard, make sure to tell your friends and colleagues about it. And also tell them about our website, eyeonannapolis.net, where you can find much more. Be sure to check out our other weekly podcast, The Maryland Crabs. This podcast comes to you every Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.